Hello YouTubers out there, this is Jerry the Movies. A topic that I would like to cover on occasion will be three different things: unseen films, unreleased films, and that would be theatrically unreleased films, and films that never got off the ground, that had great scripts or great ideas and they never flourished or became anything. The latter would be self-evident with a film called War Eagles, which of course never actually became a film, but it would have become a film. War Eagles is one of the more fascinating story ideas that I've heard in quite some time, from the period of the late 1930s, early 40s. I first came across this in a Facebook page because I was doing a little research on unseen films and unfinished films, and a Facebook page was entitled The War Eagles of 1939, which actually I prefer over the title just War Eagles. So what is War Eagles? Well, this was a film that was going to be directed by Merian-C-Cooper. Merian-C-Cooper was a film producer and director, a co-director for the famous, iconic King Kong from 1933. And this story was going to certainly be much more ambitious than anything that we had seen in King Kong. To give you a little bit of an idea, the story deals with Lost Island, a lost world if you like, not unlike Skull Island from King Kong, where giant eagles reside. Huge eagles. Viking-warriors also live there, and somehow the story involves an aviator hero who, I guess, forms an alliance with the Viking warriors. I'm not exactly sure, but I guess that's part of it, and basically fights the Nazis. And there's supposed to be a huge climax that takes place at the end of the picture in New York City with dirigibles, zeppelins. If sometimes I prefer the word zeppelins over dirigibles, but basically giant eagles help to fight the Nazis, or deadly enemy bombers. I've read two different descriptions of this film, so I don't know which one is the absolute right one, but basically it's just like an adventure story. And so it deals with an aviator hero, giant eagles, a damsel in distress, Viking warriors, and the Nazis. And there's supposed to be a big, huge battle at the end of the picture. Now, the bulk of the story I can't say as to what it really deals with, but apparently pre-production and detailed storyboards exist, not to mention some photographic stills. Merian-C-Cooper is not the only one involved. Of course, it's also Willis-O'Brien, who would have done the stop-motion animation, and his crew, which includes the King Kong creators, and also creators of Mighty Joe Young, Marcel Delgado, and George Lofgren. Now, apparently there's a book out there by David-Conofer, who's a film writer and historian who has done a lot to uncover the history of War Eagles. Apparently the story of War Eagles first broke out in 1977 in the famous Monsters of Filmland magazine. And in this magazine they showed some photographic stills, which you see some of that here. So this was going to be the greatest movie never made, the follow-up to King Kong. As one person put it, to make Kong a minor footnote in cinematic history. So that's the story of that. Now, I can imagine this was a huge undertaking and very costly. You can only imagine this would, far exceed anything that we had seen in King Kong. And But then the MGM and company, I guess, decided to halt the production. As somebody put it, because the gaze of pre-war Nazi Germany was impending, and since the heroes fight the Nazis in this, it may have seemed a little too soon. I don't know. In any case, Merian-C-Cooper also decided that instead of making movies, he was going to re-enlist. He himself, being a former aviator, re-enlist and become a colonel in the U.S. Army Air Forces during World War II, help fight World War II. So that's about all I can really say about War Eagles. I don't know what else I can add, except that this would have been some grand adventure tale now. Again, I don't know the bulk of the story. I'm just giving you ideas that were thrown out there that I know of. The book by David-Conofer, I'm sure, covers a lot more ground, and I'd like to read it. I haven't read it. Like I said, I've only really, stumbled onto this Facebook page recently. I never heard of this film story that just never got off the ground. So it's just one of those what ifs in cinema history. Who knows what they would have conjured up? And it's pretty exciting to know that. Now, apparently somebody is actually making War Eagles now. I'm not exactly clear if it's the same story, but it sounds like it. And today, with CGI and everything else, I'm sure they can make most of this come alive in ways that not even Merian-C-Cooper, Willis-O'Brien, or anyone else could have imagined. So I don't imagine they will use stop-motion animation. But nonetheless, I just thought I'd throw this out there and tell you about War Eagles and, anything else that I can discover, or if I eventually read the book, I'll like to share some of those insights. That's all I got to say on that subject. And, this is your host, Jerry Saravia, for Jerry at the Movies, signing off.